music playing.
Do you have any idea how long I've been waiting to do this?
What?
With you? Man,
If
this
I
is
had
so
a penny
cool.
every time I heard that, I'd be so rich.
I love intros like that. That's fantastic. You guys, welcome to Outpace Me podcast. As you well know by now, and if you don't, you're not in the cool kid crowd, I bring people to the table that absolutely wow me. Heather Kingston, welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Good to be here. Good to be here.
I do that thing with my mic and I play with it until it sounds right.
Yep.
I think you own the same mics, don't you?
Yep.
You do. And what's the name of your podcast? We just talked about
He
this.
already forgot.
No.
That's how much I mean to him.
It's Four of Clubs. That's what it is.
Pair of spades.
Pair of Spades is good. We had a
Pair
good
of
time.
Spades, yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting concept because it really, it definitely opened my eyes to being a podcaster.
Was that your first one?
It wasn't my first, but it sure felt like my first. That's what I tell everybody too.
If I had a penny every time I
There
said
it is.
that.
There it is again. I was waiting. I queued you up on that one. No, I didn't take into account how powerful it is.
The podcasting?
Podcasting. Yeah. And I just want to say thank you for bringing me on and opening my eyes to being able to tell people about the stuff that I like. Turns out the other people do too.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're nerdy, that's, and I'm not saying you're nerdy, but like.
So here, hang on. There we go.
But I mean, when I started a camera club, Parker County Camera Club, with my two buddies, I mean, we started it because we love photography and we're nerdy and we want to teach people. We want to hang out with other nerds that are technical and want to learn more about photography. So that's what I'm just saying. Like, that's kind of, it's not the same, but you know what I'm saying. People with like mindsets it's cool to hang out with.
I love it. So far, we've had a broker, we've had a Marine recruiter that is on the podcast says, "Hey, by the way, in a couple of years, I'm going to be a real estate agent."
Oh, really?
And I'm like, "Let's talk about that."
You're like, time to recruit you.
No, it was more so, I like you. Why would you do this? No, I'm just kidding.
I think we're going to shed some light on that topic today.
Yeah, no doubt. We have stories. And then who was the next person? We had an investor/team lead that is somebody that's really good at what they do. And here we are and we have a couple of others in the hole that haven't been released yet. And let me be honest. The first couple of podcasts are awful.
For some people.
Some of us can't be as good. No, I'm serious. Like, I had this, you remember that show Between Two Ferns?
Yes.
That's what it felt like.
Did it really?
And I didn't have notes and I wasn't being sarcastic, but the setup was just like me sitting next to them and it was just so awkward. So Ryan and Josh were going to do a redo.
Ryan Pafford?
No,
He came on mine.
That's right, he did. He can't come on mine. Sorry, Ryan, you're out. You've chosen your favorite.
What?
It's not going to happen. No, I see Ryan probably once a month at car shows.
Yeah. He's cool.
He's a cool cat. Okay, so we've got a podcast. You have a team.
Yes, I do.
And you're representing something special.
Except it's non-compliant because after I had these made, my brokerage is like, let's change our name to Cates and Company. I'm like, could you have told me that before I placed my multi-$100 order of shirts? But it's okay. It's okay. I like Cates and Company. It's cool.
That is actually a cool name.
Yeah.
How's that team going?
It's great. I love having girls or men, whoever wants to join me. Actually, my son is about to join our team. He just graduated from high school.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah. So he's got a
How
little
exciting.
He's got a little landscape company and he has really big goals.
Okay.
He's going to be a millionaire by 25, he says. He has a really big goal. So
can you call him and see if he can show up with you real quick?
He runs a landscape company, and he's getting his real estate license. So he'll be my first male on the team. But I have 3 amazing women that are on my team, and
you do
just kicking ass.
You've got some good people on your team.
We're like out of our brokerage, I think there's 30. One of the girls, everybody's real competitive, but like in a friendly, uplifting way.
Yeah.
But like one of the girls looked at the volume and she was like, "Oh my God, the 3 of us are in the top 5 of the brokerage." She was like really excited about that. And I'm like,
Okay, so the team is incredible. I will say that you have stepped out in the past, probably 3 years from another individual, like a different set of group of people where you got started.
I was on a team that was based out of South Lake. Yeah.
Yeah, and a great team, fantastic team.
Oh, he's probably one of the most professional, fantastic mentors. Just like experienced and just he's phenomenal. Can I
mention
phenomenal.
him?
Yeah.
So Angelo, dude, massive props. Angelo came to my house.
Yeah.
And
he would be freaking amazing on this.
I know. As we're talking about it, I already put him on my board. Sorry, buddy. And I'm a nobody agent, and I said, I'm really aspiring to kind of see what you do because this is so incredible. And he goes, you know what? Let's just hang out sometime. And
he's going to try to recruit you.
But he didn't. I invited him over for dinner, and he literally sat down and ate dinner with us and just was super nice. Didn't like go into real estate deep or anything.
That's how he is. He's so great. And he's so professional. Like, he taught me to respect myself.
Yeah.
Know how to say no and when to say no. And to not take abuse, which happens all the time.
Really?
Oh, God. You know, sometimes, and it's not because they're mad at me. They're just the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, for instance, this one client, he's 82, gets upset real easy if something happens on the other side. And it was a difficult transaction on the other side.
Yeah.
But he would yell at me. And, like, just because he's angry at the situation. And so I had to learn to not just take it and say, you know what, when you calm down, call me back. Let's have this conversation after you've had some time to breathe. You know what I mean? Because
it's so crazy.
It's hard sometimes. This is a very emotional job that we do.
You got to think about it. For the people that don't do this, it's the most expensive piece of something that they purchase in their lifetime, and you are the solution for them. Mm-hmm. Also, when it goes bad, you're the scapegoat.
Problem.
Yeah, the problem.
Yeah, I have clients, their house is under contract in Alito right now, and they have been screwed massively on every single sale prior to this. So they were scared going into it, and they interviewed probably 6 agents.
Good job. You won out of 6 agents.
I mean,
come
it
on.
really wasn't no, I'm just kidding. But they're thrilled because so far everything's just going, really, really well. But
nice.
That happens like over and over and over again, I think. And I think that's why people have such a problem with realtors. You know what I mean?
Because they're not
they get screwed, or they're not represented the right way, or they find stuff out afterwards that their realtor that may have not been experienced enough to even know.
That's a problem.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm careful with how I say this because, I was running a brokerage last year, and it was evident to me the level of inexperience and emotional intelligence was extremely low.
Oh, see, that's I cannot. I learned from the first time I had someone on my team that I have to have a certain level of intelligence. I have to, because
that's so hard.
I personally cannot. I can't dumb it down to a 5-year-old's level doing what we do.
So let me put a line in the sand. I'm not really questioning their intelligence, but their emotional intelligence for how to deal with the situations they're given. And if you put somebody in $1 million situation and you've sold 3 pieces of real estate in your life, it's going to be an awkward situation for that person.
Yeah, maybe it depends. But like yesterday, I was helping a girl on my team negotiate. She had a contract come in super low, appraisal.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go mow the back. When I come back, let's review the thing. So we're reading her email, and by and large, it was really well done. But there were definitely portions I said, take that out, take that out, take that out. Like, I get why you're putting that in there, but it's too emotional, and it's like, it's just that you don't need to do if you're trying to negotiate the deal for your clients. Just take out all your freaking emotion. Take out all the I told you so bull crap. Like, just keep it to the facts, tell her what your clients are going to do, and then see what they do.
Now, what's your husband doing right now?
Right this second?
No, just today, in this week, in this month.
Today he's hanging out with his daughter. He does inspections for new builds.
Thank you. You
So-
caught that. That's good.
What?
It's just propping him up. People want to use him. That'd be good.
Use him for what?
No, we hashtag him. We put him on there. We put him and tag him on the video.
Oh, gosh. He doesn't need any more props.
He doesn't need business, y'all.
He feels like he's too famous already. with TikTok and Instagram. Now he has people sending him stuff for free on Instagram.
What?
Like he got $200 boots, and he got an air freshener with his face on it for me for Mother's Day.
Seriously?
Yeah, like his social media is out of control in a good way.
We should take pointers from that guy.
No.
Maybe we wouldn't spend hundreds of dollars on shirts if he could help us.
Well, it's just, for him, it's just about posting all the time.
Yeah, it's consistency,
All the time.
right?
And for me, I'm like, frick, I want to talk about this on TikTok so freaking bad, but I don't want to come off as like bitching about something.
Yeah.
Or like, look at that Karen. She's like, you know what I mean? She's so freaking privileged and makes all this money or whatever. And here she is complaining on TikTok. And that's not what it's about. But sometimes it's like stuff happens that you're just like, frick, I want to tell people about this.
Yeah.
But then I also don't want to break any confidentiality. You know what I mean?
Okay,
if somebody could figure out who I'm talking about.
That's true. For those that don't know Heather, really, really, really good at what you do. What's awesome, more awesome than that, is that you can be yourself. You've gone through hell. You've gone on the other side of that wall, and you have made something of yourself. Hence why the whole outpace me thing is you've kind of beat the odds. We've sat in those beginning courses of what we do for a living and really wondered if we're going to be a statistic like everybody else.
Well, I think that maybe that's the difference, is that I never wondered. You know what I mean?
I didn't either.
Well, see,
I was being nice.
I think that that's the difference.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you're going to do something, there can't be any doubt that you're going to be great. There can't be.
Paint the picture what it was like your first year, what you were doing.
Well, I was lucky. Well, okay.
Lucky.
So I was a photographer before this.
Right.
So I shot families, babies, seniors, weddings.
Pictures.
Yeah, like portraits and stuff. And then I got into real estate because as a photographer, so it was fresh out of a divorce, right? So, we're trying to provide, we have 6 kids together. Anyway, it was stressful being a photographer because you have high seasons where you get a ton of business and
Sure.
then 3 months of nothing. And you're not making that much money as a photographer. So
Right. Sounds familiar.
Yeah. So well, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
But by and large, our paychecks now are like what I used to make in, 3 or 4 months as a photographer. You know what I'm saying? Like one paycheck could be as much as I made in 2 months.
You were doing good as a photographer.
Yeah, but I made like $85,000 a year, which was hard.
Yeah.
Because, and plus I had kids in college.
That's right.
And I couldn't pay a penny towards my oldest going to college. So, she was automatically $25,000 in debt that first year. And I said, I got to make a change. I got to do something different.
So you're in it, you pass, you get into the business.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you did that created your database?
Okay, so when my database is all for my photography and Facebook.
See?
So all my clients that knew me, liked me, trusted me, know how professional I am.
Chad Mathis, the guy that was before you, the recruiter I was telling you about for the Marines.
I think I'm friends with that guy on Facebook.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Is it, his whole family
I don't
is
know
amazing.
him, but yeah.
His whole family, like all their family too.
Okay.
They're amazing, and that way he can reach out to both of us, and I don't have to be on the hook for when I tell him the wrong stuff for real estate. But no, Chad Mathis, keep track of this conversation. This is, I've told you very, very similar stories when it comes to what it is it looks like in the very beginning, because it's not exactly, it's a crapshoot, and you aim for the thing that you think is going to benefit you most, or what you're good at.
Right. So for me, there's a lot of photographers people can choose from. There's always photographers that are cheaper than you, not as good as you.
Right.
But the thing that made me crazy is that their photos were trash.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, trash. And then you'd see all these comments like, this is the most amazing picture of a baby's head sticking out of a cowboy boot. That's like not physically possible. You know what I mean? So anyway.
Or safe.
But my point is like you're going up against so many different competitors with photography, with real estate, with everything. So when I was a real estate photographer, because that's how I filled in the blank spots, right?
Right.
That was very steady.
Sure.
Because there's always houses going on the market. And I got in with this brokerage here in Weatherford, and they were my first brokerage too. And I just saw what everybody was doing that I was working for as a photographer. And I felt like they were missing the mark, because I felt like not truthfully, like it turned out to be wrong, but I felt like my photos were selling their properties for them. That's what I felt like. I didn't even have a clue what realtors really, really do. But before, actually, like when I was waiting to get my license, I was like freaking working on my website. So my website was freaking ready to go from day one.
Unbelievable.
With all the photos, obviously, that I've taken. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I was like, look, I'm going to have a 4-tier listing plan. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to market myself as why am I different from Eric Daniels or whoever else. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a Facebook Live. I'm going to do this.
Sure.
So like I had all these plans and I followed it.
I love it. Your social proof was set up before you even sold a house.
Yes, because you're waiting for a month to even take the test for your fingerprinting to get back.
Yeah.
You should be working on your website.
Because you're taking that test one time, right?
Right.
Exactly.
So you hit the ground running as soon as you get that pass.
Yeah.
You've got 2 days until Trek finally puts it in and you can go.
Sure.
But like I wanted it to ready, like my Facebook profile was ready to go. I just had to press, active. So, but going back to the photography, the way I had to roll out new, because you have to build a Christmas set every year. You have to build Easter sets. You have to build whatever. You have to come up with something new and creative every year to keep your people coming back to you. So I would always do like some giveaway where I like made a post, told people they had to like it, share it, comment, just to help with the SEO of the thing.
Sure.
And the algorithm on Facebook. And then we did something live and creative. So like one time I had all the names of everybody that had done what, they were supposed to win the free session. And we cut up all the things. And I threw the papers up in the air of everybody's individual names and Shad threw a knife and it like put a knife into the tree with the name on it. You know what I mean?
It worked?
No, it was all set up.
Oh, okay.
But it was cool and people thought it was real. You know what I mean?
That is so cool.
So again, it's like just something that people are like, oh shit, that's freaking cool.
Yeah, I don't
You
like
know?
that person. How about this one, Chad?
This one's not going to be easy to work with.
Yeah.
Let's give a free one to them.
17 children? No.
I know.
that's
50-person family reunion? Mm-mm. But so my point is I constantly had to think of interesting things to keep people engaged on social media.
Yeah.
So I already had that.
Okay, so social media, check.
Yeah, that was it. That's it.
That was it?
That's it.
When did you join Angelo's team?
Probably, so I've been an agent. This is like I'm halfway through my 6th year. So I would say I was with my first brokerage for
You're so killing it for 6 years.
2 years. Probably 2 years at the first brokerage.
So you were by yourself for 2 years.
Well, at the first brokerage.
Yeah. And then when you joined a team, what was the benefit of joining a team?
Well, see, that's what Angelo was good at. That's why I said he trying to recruit you.
I know.
Because he was cool. I mean, he followed me on social media. He called me about one of my listings. We had a great conversation. And he was kind of like, So he friends me on Facebook. He saw how busy I was. He knew I was a new agent because you know how your license numbers, you can tell how new people are. And he saw that I was floundering, because I was working 16-hour days.
Sure.
You'd be out showing houses for 8 hours, 9 hours, come home, 5 hours of computer work. That's the stuff people don't see. And it was freaking exhausting. I had nothing left for my family. And he was like, dude, what are your plans? How are you going to... How are you going to go to the next level? And I said, I don't know, because my brokerage did not have any sort of team set up or any sort of knowledge about teaching you how to build a team and how to be successful building a team and how to grow.
And that was 2018? 1920.
Yeah. When did I get my license? I feel like I got my license in 2017.
Okay.
No, because I've been 6 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was probably 20...
teams, dude, everything has changed.
Maybe?
Let's just put a stamp on 2018.
Yeah.
Think of how much change has happened in real estate since 2018. The disruptions, the good, the bad, the ugly, the definitions of partnerships, dude, it's like we are social media business now.
Yeah, 100%. And for me, I've always been. You
OG. You're just an OG.
I mean, and I tell, it's crazy because everyone's like, how do you do it? How do you do it? I'm like, this is how I do it. Get your face on social media. Go do Facebook Lives at every single listing. If you're out showing and you see something cool, do a Facebook Live. If you're meeting with your foundation guy and he shows you something you didn't know, do a freaking video or a Facebook Live. Like, use your situations to educate the people that follow you.
Yeah.
Like my property tax. The property taxes
Bro,
this year have been.
Has that been nuts?
Yeah, they've been insane.
How many comps have you done?
A lot.
I've got a folder.
A lot.
Just
a lot.
full.
And it's helped. I just got a message yesterday from an Alito client and she said, oh my God, your comps just knocked off $100,000 off our value.
I literally.
Like, great.
So we have one in the neighborhood here that it was like, I think they said just shy 900, and they got it to 650 with the comps. And I was like, not to one up. That was just like that's the service that we're providing people. Is
Right.
we're not getting paid for that.
No.
And we don't want to. I
Right.
want to be there for my people that need help.
Right.
Because you're doggone right, I'm doing it for myself too.
Well, right. And that's the beauty of the referral-based business too,
Yeah.
is that the more you help people, the more it's going to come back. And people are going to be like, Eric's a badass because he helped me knock off $300,000 off my taxes, you know? He actually cares about me.
I took that call on vacation when I was on the beach.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Because they needed help. And I did that thing where I was like, at first I was like, no, I'm on vacation. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back to the room, make a quick phone call, just see where it's at. And, and it helped them out. And I'm just so glad that happened. And that times probably 40, I'm guessing, 40 people I've helped this year.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of people like paying for that service too.
Well, because people do that. Like, that's their business, is to help dispute property taxes, which, if you have a good realtor, you shouldn't have to. But
That's what I think. Is it better to have one of those companies? I don't know.
I don't have a clue.
I don't know what they can do that I can't.
How do they have access? They have to be realtors because they have to have access to comps.
Well, all they need is one guy with MLS access.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so that aside. But so no door knocking. No.
Never.
That's how I built my business.
Never. And clients would just, like, the cool thing is my photography clients, they were just like, yeah, we want you to list our house. And I'm like, you realize I haven't ever had a listing before?
I'm an imposter right now.
My first listing, dude, these people are so cool. They live in Parks of Alito now. I think I've helped them buy and sell six times.
$10, I know them.
Maybe so.
Don't say their name. It's so weird.
Well, I don't care if I tell
No,
you
I
their
love
name.
Noelle. I just.
But anyway, they're so cool. Their house, it was my first listing, so it was my first Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And they lived in Burleson at the time, and the husband was obsessed with Ninja, the jumping from things and
Parkour.
no, the Ninja Warrior thing on TV.
Oh, yeah.
He tried out for that
Yeah.
a couple times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where you have to swing and hold on
Yeah,
to
they're
things.
always like in Vegas out in the front of
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah.
he had one of those things built in his backyard.
I don't know them.
So, but that was in Burleson. And so when I did the Facebook Live, I did the Ninja thingy.
I bet it's Matt Pruitt. Is that Matt Pruitt? He's not a parkour guy or a ninja warrior?
No.
Okay. Quick shameless plug.
But that's my point, is like, I just don't care if I'm going to come across as an idiot. And I think that's what everybody has such a hang up. They don't know how to just freaking be themselves.
I know what you look like and sound like.
Exactly. That's what I tell everybody. They're like, but I hate my voice in recordings.
That sucks that you hate yourself.
I'm like, everybody does. We sound differently.
I sound different in these things.
I sound freaking awesome.
No. You beat me at my own game.
But just freaking be yourself. Like,
yeah, that's exactly where I'm at now.
people like will come and talk to me, and I will not know how I know them, and they will say, man, I saw you do this and this and this. That's freaking awesome. I mean, people are watching what you do. The people that love you and the people that hate you equally.
You know what's really interesting is how many people actually see what you're doing and never comment.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Like, it's a lot of people. I had one.
I don't comment that often.
You do not.
I don't.
I mean, and I don't. I try to, but I don't get to it all the time.
I mean, I want to comment so often. Like, I see,
comment.
Well, I just see, like, there's so much drama in the neighborhood groups, like the Weatherford Moms Mafia and the Alito Mom Gang and whatever, and they're like, they kind
Chopper Gang
battle, and I'm like, there's so many posts about, like, my marriage is falling apart and my sex life sucks.
No.
And, oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
Okay. I'm so, like, I'm far removed from that stuff.
I don't ever comment because people would be like, who that bitch?
That's right.
Like,
That's right. That's what they say about
I mean,
me.
I wouldn't say anything not and disparaging just because
No.
that's not who I am.
No. We're not mean people, but just to be a fly on the wall for, I just can't. I can't
That's
take
what
the
it is.
toxicity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I own a house in Morningstar,
Yeah.
and I am on the HOA for Facebook, and I had to remove it for the amount of drama that goes on inside of that space.
So I heard that there's two groups, community groups in Morningstar. One is pro HOA and one is anti HOA. And I heard the anti HOA is run by swingers.
Pineapple. Got it. How do I know that? I don't know.
Because he might be on that group too.
I hate HOAs.
Dude.
Is that what that is? No. No, I'm gonna be doom and gloom for a second. You know what? Should I not?
I don't know. What is it going to be?
It's property related.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you going to say the market's going to crash?
No, I'm not actually going to say that. I'm going to say Karen controls the. No. I'm not going to go there. If you guys want to know, let's go have a beer. But I'm watching something happen.
Yeah.
In the investment space, and it's interesting that we might have a bunch of listings soon.
Oh, are investors bailing on stuff just because of property taxes, homeowners?
You suck me in.
You can't keep
You can't keep the
rent.
So if I buy a house, so I'll give you a scenario. I bought a house and financed some of it and had a 2.9% interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
2.9 on an investment loan, which is insane, with no buy down.
That's amazing.
I couldn't believe it when I got it, and I bought 3 in that month. I think it was like, I'm doing all of them. Just lock me in.
Yeah.
And when I did that, my monthly mortgage, homeowners insurance policy, and taxes is more than I can get for rent now at 2.9%.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because there's no homestead protection, nothing on those properties.
Heather, I can't ask for $3,000 on a 3.2 in Benbrook.
3,000 in Benbrook?
I'm being facetious. I think the number is actually $2,650.
Jesus. I have a house in Benbrook. That's where I'm going. My taxes are like $5,500 a year, something like that. My break even on that house is about $1,800 with taxes and insurance and principal. 1,700 square foot house.
What is it leased for?
1,800. No, my break even is 15. Sorry, so I'm net positive at 18.
See, that's very little room for negotiation, if you will, for your taxes.
Yeah.
Very, like next year could eat your lunch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. 100%.
So,
but they're trying to put forth a whole bunch of different.
They're going to have to.
Yeah, they have to redo property taxes. It is not sustainable, especially for older people on fixed incomes. Oh, speaking of property taxes, okay. Here's one of the things I found out.
Talk to me.
Yesterday.
Oh.
I have a client who's buying property in Azle. And I always go straight to Parker CAD or whatever the county is. I don't do Realist at all.
I've never used Realist.
Realist has shitty information.
It's got this range that's enormous.
Yeah, but not only that, like sometimes the names are wrong. Like I'll get contracts with like random names. I'm like, where the frick did you get that name? They're like Realist. I'm like, freaking just go to the county. But anyway, so I went to the county. This is out in the county in Azle.
Okay.
Property tax rate for every other house on that street is 1.86.
Yes.
Property tax for this property is 3.04.
Oh my God. Did it catch a mud somewhere?
No, they're all on the same street. They're 2 school districts. So I said on my contract, I wrote seller to contact or seller to appeal. What did I say? Something like basically like the seller, you need to get your ass down to the county and get the double billed ISD out.
Right.
Because they can't do that.
Right. You pay for one or the other.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's a new thing. They can do that.
Okay, so you know the neighborhood on 377 is called M3X or something like that. It's just past Goforth Road.
Yeah.
There's a neighborhood down there, and it literally has 2 ISDs. It's Granbury and
Parker.
I think it's Parker. I think it's Aledo.
Yeah.
Together on one property, and the seller told me I can't get rid of it, and I'm like, that's impossible. Think about this: you have children. Where are they going to go?
It's a new thing. So it's always been you pick one or the other, or it's wherever your roof sits. Does your house sit more in this district, or does your house sit in this district? this district. And we've even heard, where are the bedrooms in the house? Do they sit in this district or this district?
Are you serious?
Yes. But now...
Where do you go to the restroom?
Not anymore. Yeah, right? But not anymore now. Now they can put both on there. But the problem with that one in Azle is they were billing the full amount. So it was valued at like 167. So they were billing 167 to Weatherford, 167 to Azle. And so the property taxes doubled on this property. So they went down to the county and they said, oh, our bad, we were supposed to prorate it. So now they're doing like 97,000 to this one, and then like,
does that make it equal to what the other neighbors are paying?
No, it's still more because one ISD is higher than the other. So the property tax rate is still more, but they're not being billed more than 167,000 total to the two school districts.
Let's apply some smart man logic here. If I'm the guy that's going through and drawing the imaginary lines around houses, not through them, we don't have this problem.
You never know what's going to subdivide. That's the problem. Some of these districts go through hundreds of acres of undeveloped land, and then grandpa dies, they put in a new subdivision, and now there's a subdivision where there wasn't one before.
There has to be something done in that space. I mean, think of all the hoops that we go through to get to a closing. What's one more piece of paper saying that reallocation to the land based on this?
I know. Let's get involved in politics.
Because
that's the only way to do it.
I'm apolitical.
I know. We had this conversation.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm out. I'm going to go to the woods.
I mean, that's the problem, though, is that people complain, but they don't get involved. Because, like, Parker County only sets...
I'm the problem?
No, well...
Yes.
Parker County sets value. Our tax office sets value. Yeah. That's it. They don't set the tax rate.
Do you know how they set the value?
They don't make the laws. Yes, I do. They the legislature does all of these other things.
I see what you're saying. I got you.
So 1.86 and the 3.04, that's because of Texas legislature, not because of Parker CAD.
Right.
Like some rule change that was like literally 2 weeks ago.
Wow, I can't believe it's that new.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Speaking of adventures.
Yeah.
What's on your wrist? Your right wrist.
Oh. So sorry, that was loud.
It's all good.
That's a tattoo of my 4 kids and my 2 step babies.
But they're trees and
birds.
So cool.
Lainey, Biddy, Cam, and Connor.
I love that. So Christy's trying to get me tattoos, and I'm like,
Have you seen this one?
I have. It's so dope.
I like it.
I do too. It's too bad, you gotta get all formal with me.
I mean, I could strip down.
No. That's
only this.
Your husband's the best guy in the whole world. No, she's trying to get me to do stuff like tattoos, and I'm like, I'm so commitment to her.
Tattoos, tattoos are sexy.
Oof. See,
they
she
are
says
sexy
the same.
to women.
Christy, you have a friend.
That's a fact. I mean,
I'm gonna come home.
If I see a dude with like a little bit of tattoo sticking out right here, I'm like, I want to see more. Show me more.
Okay, so speaking of, check out. Do you know who this is?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any is that sexy?
I mean, okay, first of all, I love him, but he's not sexy at all.
Right.
So no.
No. Okay.
but I love him.
He's a true inspiration for me.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Still is, like, it's present for me. It's not past for me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something sweet. My mom got me a stack of books for Father's Day early, because she was in a bookstore and they had an area where it was his stuff.
Yeah.
And she bought them all.
Have you watched the documentary about him?
All of them.
Yeah. He's cool.
Such a cool deal.
But you got to get tattoos that are meaningful to you.
Yeah.
Like, my daughter drew both of these.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. So
I'm not asking my kids to draw mine.
Well, you can have an artist draw something for you that is meaningful. Like, so mine are all like family related. And I also trees are everything to me. So like Lainey's middle name is Lainey Aspen.
Oh my gosh.
And she's an aspen tree.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I want a tattoo now.
I'm telling you, like, I don't regret it one bit.
I don't think I'd regret it.
Even as an old lady, I don't think it's weird.
I think it's a slippery slope for me.
What? Oh, because you think you'll be all tatted up?
I will get a full arm at some point.
Doing what we do, it's like... I mean, the only people that don't like it. Okay, so I have these really great clients. They're like in their 80s, and I was over there the other day, and she goes, "Let me see this. Let me see this tattoo on your arm." And she pulls my thing up, and she goes, "And I go, "Do you hate it?" She goes, well, I like the tattoo, but I don't like tattoos on women. And I said, I get it. I get it. I said, I was always worried that I would alienate certain clientele or whatever. And she goes, I don't think so anymore. I just think people our age, we just don't like them very much, you know? So she was cool about it.
She's somewhat cool about it, yeah.
But, you know, you could just tell she didn't like it. But once I explained, like, the meaning behind it,
Yeah.
she was like, well, that's cooler than I thought it was. Like,
what goes through my mind when you say that is I'm painting my own picture. Because I love being a visionary and things that, like, I love innovation. I love all that goes along with that. And when I sit down to think about that scenario, I go, it's okay not to have that person as a client because I'm painting this picture.
well, if they're going to judge you for something that's so personal,
Yeah.
maybe you don't want them to be.
Yeah.
But, like, she wasn't mean or rude about it. She just doesn't prefer them on women. And that's okay. But she it's not like she wasn't going to use me.
Shut.
Well, she's just, you know, I don't know. She's super sweet. I've done lots of business with them and their family, but
That's different.
you
That is
know.
different. And did she not know that you had those before?
I didn't have them before.
Oh.
This was
So next
like
time she saw you,
October.
she's like, you come in flexing the guns, and she's like, oh. You scared
She's
her.
kind of a badass.
I know. Don't. She's going to negotiate.
Now
but-
I've almost forgot that it's there. So in the
Yeah.
summertime, I wear dresses. But, like, if I'm meeting someone new for the first time, people don't care about this one because it's small. But this one is much. I should probably just show it.
Yeah, you should. You should.
So
It
this
is
one's
so
a little
good.
bit bigger.
Okay,
you know.
tell me what we're looking at here.
So it's a tree because
It
I
is a
love
tree.
trees. But this, it's significant because it's like everything you take in affects the health of everything else, right? So it's like to me, it's kind of like a family tree because like everything you bring into your life, your relationship, your mental state affects the health of everything. And then I've got a little spade here because we're the pair of spades.
Not a club. Okay.
You know, the little dots are kids and whatnot. But I mean, it's just kind of like a.
It's brilliant.
Like
Who
a
did that
family
for you?
tree. Tattooed it?
Uh-huh.
My client, Pedro.
Really?
Pedro, he owns I'm gonna have to look it up. Give him a shout out because he is excellent. My daughter who drew this actually went and was interning,
Yeah.
but then I had to have a come to Jesus with her
Yeah.
because she wasn't making any money and she's a college graduate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, you need to get a freaking job, period. Oh gosh. Oh, I didn't write it down. It's like Blue Rose, I think. Blue Rose.
Pedro?
Yeah, he goes by
Blue
Dro.
Rose.
If he's on Instagram, he's like Tattoos by Dro.
Ah, okay.
So you can find
Tattoos
him.
by Dro. You
But
guys got to
he's
check it out.
Very, very talented with color and just following like exactly. Because I mean, this was exactly what she drew.
Are you going to get a color at some point?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was a
Maybe.
lead-in question because I'm thinking, are you thinking about the next tattoo?
No.
You're not. See, I'd be like obsessed. I'd be on Instagram all the time.
Well, that's what Pedro said. He's like, I'll see you in
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no. And it took me maybe a year or two to get another one. But that's because I am like you. Like I kind of think things through because I don't want to. I'm not going to go freaking get something spontaneous that I'm going to be like.
Yeah,
That's just a meaningless. Like.
Why do you have a butterfly on your?
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I don't know.
So whatever. It
Okay.
just has to be meaningful to me.
I love it. I love being in the space with you for work, but more so, I like you as a human, which is awesome. I don't know what you guys do for fun, but I would love to know this summer, this year. What do you guys like? Plan vacations as a group, and you guys go do a bunch of stuff, or is
When you say you guys, are you talking about me and my family?
Yeah.
No, but what we do for fun, my husband's a homebody. He doesn't like people. COVID kind of dashed my hopes for travel for a while, I think, until things calmed down. And I know they're a lot more calm, but I want to go have adventures and travel. And my husband's much more of like a, let's go hang out down by the shop in the pond. And I'm like, again.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's nice. I mean, we sit by the fire. I mean, he's like all I need is, you know, beer and a fire and you, and I'm happy. And that's cool.
that is actually pretty cool.
It is cool. But I want to have adventures. I want to see new things.
What's something you want to do?
I want to go to Italy. What I need to do is just take my girls. I would like to take all my 4 kids with me because they're all adults now, so they can travel really well.
They would totally appreciate it. You know, I used to live in Italy.
L.A.?
Italy.
Oh, Italy?
Yeah.
Where?
In Sicily. I was in the military, and they stationed me there.
Isn't Sicily a different country?
Kind of. It's the football that they're kicking.
Yeah, that's a different country.
No, Sicily is Italy.
It is?
Uh-huh.
I thought if you were Sicilian, you were
Italian.
Sicilian.
You were Italian. It's still part of the country.
I feel like I need to fact check that.
I highly recommend that. I lived on Mount Etna, and it's a beautiful place.
I've never even been over there, but I want to so bad.
Yeah. Christy has this obsession with Greece and like the white and blue and the ocean.
Oh, I know. I'd love to see it. You got to talk to Jack Eggleston because he'll tell you exactly where to go over there.
Really?
He said there's an island that's like just incredibly beautiful that hardly anybody knows about. That's the best place to go.
Interesting.
Yeah, he knows. I don't know. But what we do for fun mostly is pickleball.
You're a pickler.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is so news to me. I had no idea. Really?
I mean, I'm not 80, but my legs feel like I'm 80.
I was going to say, you are like top of your game.
No, I'm not. I'm not, but it's so fun.
I have a family member that just bought in Robson Ranch up north.
Yeah.
For that reason.
For freaking pickleball?
For pickleball.
I think I'd rather just like buy I'm like this freaking close to putting a pickleball court on our property. Because I'm tired of Weatherford only has like 4.
Well, you know we're about to get one, yeah?
Yeah, but it's going to be so packed. That's the thing.
It totally
it's always packed.
And it's going to be Willow Park, too, so it's...
That's fine. I mean, that's not...
No,
that much further.
Distance is fine. I'm talking about the amount of people that will use it.
Exactly.
Is going to be insane.
We need a courtside kitchen. We need I would love to find a group of investors where we put it together and build 12 courts.
You know who you need to talk to?
That is massively income producing.
You know who owns the one downtown?
Scott McKnight. I know.
It is so easy to talk to him and go,
oh, I know.
Take your fuzzy taco money.
Right? Does he own fuzzies?
He used to own a portion of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's the guy that owns the title company that I use the most.
Who's your person you close with?
Brittany Swilling.
Nice.
She's good. She's the best communicator.
Actually, I love a lot of people in that space.
Same. I'm fine with anybody.
Siciliano, Megan, Anna, all of them are.
Well, you're the
Jennifer.
Fort Worth office.
I am.
Yeah.
I do the Fort Worth office.
Yeah.
But I've receded with your people before. I think the coolest place that I've been, honestly, and I've kind of traveled the world a little bit, and Yosemite was probably one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah.
I went to China when I was in 5th grade.
What?
And this was 1985. So I was 10 years old.
Wow.
So that's how old I am. We're almost the same age, aren't we?
We are the same age.
Okay. So 1985, China had just opened up for tourism, like to the Cultural Revolution was in the 60s. Like
flags are everywhere.
Yeah. So like we were some of the first Americans to go through that country.
Sketchy as that.
And I was a little girl, and I had short hair because I was tomboy. I was all over the place, playing outside constantly in Idaho. And we went there, and the Chinese people were like, what the frick is that? Like, they wanted to touch me. They wanted to hear me talk. They couldn't believe that I was a girl because I was dark like them with dark eyes and short hair. And they would, like, say, hello, brother, to me. And then they would be humiliated when the whoever the translator would be like, that's not a boy. They would be like, oh. It was really a cool.
You remember it, though?
I remember so much of that trip.
Really?
So much. We did the Great Wall of China. We did the Nightingale Palace in Japan. So when you walk on the there's like a covered patio. They built it so that when you walk across it, it sounds like nightingales, so that nobody could sneak in there to kill the emperor. It's pretty cool. And they built it like in the freaking 1500s or something.
What?
Like so long ago.
Did you say Japan or China?
Both.
Wow.
I did both. It was like the best trip ever for a kid because it was just me and my parents. We went to Japan for a week, China for a week, and then we went to Hawaii for 2 weeks. But my parents were born and raised in Hawaii, so we mostly went there to see our grandma. But it was just me.
I took my kids to Galveston.
That's pretty cool.
No, that is so crazy. You can't live up to that standard.
Well, no, but my dad sold insurance, so he won the trip because he sold.
Your dad's a salesperson.
Yeah. He was actually a realtor in 1980 something.
He had a MAPSCO.
And it was back when it was 18% interest, and I don't think he ever made a sale. So he's excited. And I think my grandpa was a realtor at some point too, but I don't know how successful he was.
My mom's the only one that was a realtor in my family.
Is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. Yeah, you're still there.
Pam, right?
Yeah. She's still kicking it. She's still closing deals.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's that gopher, man. She's like, I'm going to chill out for a little bit, take 6 months and just do whatever she wants to do. Go to Mexico.
Yeah.
And then she'll go, boop. And
She send business to you while she's gone?
She has in the past, yeah. I don't, generally she doesn't peek out of the hole unless she's ready.
Yeah.
And then when she's ready, she's like self-sufficient. Nobody even knows she's doing deals until we see numbers coming across. I'm like, what? How are you beating me? You don't do anything on social. You're not a social media company.
She has so much business in the past.
She's been doing this for 20 years.
So what are you seeing with numbers this year? Because everything I'm seeing, everybody's way down from where they were the past couple years.
Okay, so I'll tell you on the general level, yeah, it's way down. It's a third of what most people's goals. So I coach people in Tom Ferry, and
that's countrywide.
That's sometimes worldwide, but in my case, only countrywide. So continental U.S., I've got all major cities basically covered, and I'm watching their goals hit between a third and a half on some of them. Some are over their goals, which is crazy.
That's cool.
A guy in Kentucky is doing great. North Carolina's doing great. Seattle's doing good too.
You know, May was the first month in 10 years that the number of realtors went negative. So
I didn't see that.
That means there are more people leaving the industry than joining.
We always get
for the first time.
Get sucked right back into real estate every time. I love it because I think about this stuff all the time.
Yeah. You mean on the podcast?
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about.
No. I it's funny because you're right. That's a very valid point. The first time in how long?
10 years. Over 10 years.
That's surprising. I thought it would be more.
Yeah.
Because our year over year.
And it may be next month.
Oh, it will
by the
be.
end of June, it may be.
I was doing stats the other day. So right now we're looking at March numbers. We're actually getting solid concrete numbers for March. Then April and May will come shortly thereafter. But March was the first turn of seeing, pricing isn't exactly staying stable.
Yeah, wasn't that weird? That was such a weird time for it to freaking fall out.
Yeah. Normally it's a pretty busy month for agents or actually a busy quarter.
March and April.
Yeah.
I had no closings in May. None. That's freaking weird.
That is weird. That is...
None.
You've had some major listings, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm closing, but I just didn't have any in May. I have like 6 in June, but like May was weird.
Yeah.
To have none.
I don't post on my listings. I probably should.
I don't either anymore because I feel like it's just bragging.
Yeah, I don't want to do
If
that.
it's a cool story, like I will post about how much, like the story about my clients,
Give me a cool story. What's going on with your people these days? I'm curious.
Like real estate story?
Yeah.
Okay, I actually have some for you.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What would Eric do? You have a buyer. I don't know if I should tell it from that perspective or not. You come across this property that is listed and marketed as industrial residential mixed use property that's out in the county.
And it's zoned accordingly.
Well, there's no zoning in the county.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's out in the county. The sellers are like, yeah, there's no deed restrictions, blah, blah, blah. So you're out there. You've marketed it on LoopNet. So it's being marketed as industrial use also and an income producing property.
Got it.
You get the buyer. You're the listing agent. You get the buyer. You hand it off to your team so that he has representation from another agent. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And he's buying the property because it's exactly what he wants. He can live there. He can buy it with a residential loan, and he can use the multiple shops to run his business out of. Title work comes back, and it is the most strict deed restrictions you've ever seen.
From 19...
Who knows?
Yeah.
80. But they're written to go with the land forever.
Yeah.
Forever. They don't expire. And they're more strict than most HOAs. They even say you can only have 1 animal per acre.
Whoa.
On a 10-acre piece out in the country.
Which county is this?
Parker.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've seen it in Johnson. I haven't seen that in Parker.
Yeah. So that was fun. That was 45 days under contract trying to get the deed.
The guy bailed, right?
Well, not till the 9th hour, 11th hour, because the entire time we were trying to get the deed restrictions changed and removed.
Which takes signatures. I've done this. I've done this.
It's pretty much impossible. You're always going to find someone who will not sign
What's
off.
fun about this is, for those that don't know, you have a giant piece of land, okay, that then gets, subdivided and subdivided and subdivided. Chopped up. And then you've got to go in for signatures and get a certain percentage of people to agree.
Most times it's everyone.
And in this case, it will be everyone because...
No, this case was even weirder than that.
Oh, talk to me.
Because it's an unrecorded subdivision.
How's that possible?
I don't freaking know. So every single lot in there, it's written into each individual deed.
And they have 3 schools on each one. It's 3 school districts on every one.
No. But it's written into each individual deed. And they can be interpreted differently. Oh. So it's like, anyways, it was such a nightmare just trying to get that resolved and changed. And when it came down to it, we had the buyer. He was like, all right, well, we had to seek out the original grantor who had just died.
Oh gosh.
We found the executor of his estate who had not probated his estate yet, so she didn't have authority to sign for him. And then we had multiple attorneys review it. And finally, the attorney said, all right, we can amend the deed restrictions. You just have to have both adjoining neighbors and the original grantor sign. We couldn't get the neighbors to sign.
Oh my God.
It sucked. Multi-million-dollar deal.
Why wouldn't they sign?
Very smartly, I'm not disparaging them. I mean, the one neighbor was like, look, dude, if I freaking sign off on this,
you can go eat.
And this guy moves here and says, I don't like it here and sells in 6 months. I have just signed off allowing this to be used for commercial purposes. And I don't want to live next to a freaking commercial industrial place. Because if that guy sells his property and then someone comes in and raises it down and puts in another subdivision because it's out in Peaster, like...
That would happen.
I mean, it could happen.
That would happen.
Or they could freaking put a Valero there. I mean, they're putting in a Valero and Taco Bell across the street over there by Corner Ranch.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, that's why I was blown away because I wasn't expecting that strict of subdivision, rules. So that's another interesting thing. One of my agents on my team, she had a very close work acquaintance with her husband call her and say, hey, we're looking at houses up there. Can you help us find houses? So she's like, in the beginning of a pregnancy, she was kind of high risk, having some issues, with bleeding and whatnot. So she had to stay away from stress, but she pushed herself 14-hour days for these people for 4 days, showing them properties an hour away.
No way.
Yeah. And guess what they did? They had a freaking agent from Austin write them a contract on one of the houses that she showed them. Well, what would Eric do? You're the buyer's agent. They just spent 4 days. And these people work with her husband. The husband of the couple is her husband's boss. And
that's a fight.
She spent 3 days crying.
That's a fight.
Yeah. I mean, that's 500, it was 500, 600 grand.
That's a fight.
Property.
You know what I found out?
Huh.
I know this makes sense to most people, but for me, it didn't really hit home until I watched one of my teammates get it. You don't have to let somebody out of your buyer's agreement.
She didn't have a buyer's agreement. They refused to sign it.
Yeah.
That was
the
red
indicator.
flag number one.
Yeah.
I told her that too. I said, look, if anybody says when you write it, because she did write a contract for them at one point, and they didn't get it. It was multiple offer and
She wrote a contract without buyer representation?
Well, she sent it in 2 separate emails. So just for ease of one PDF with all the contract stuff and then one PDF with all the buyer's rep stuff.
So they signed the one.
They signed that one and didn't sign that one. And she's like, well, okay, but I'm going to need you to sign that. But then they didn't get it.
I can't submit this offer until you.
I know. And this was a big learning.
Poor baby.
I know. And she's new. She's 9 months into it. And
whoever you are, good job on learning. Stick this to your, put this in your filing cabinet that's oh, I'm not doing that again.
If it makes you cry, you don't make the same mistake again.
That is so true.
Kind of sucks.
It does suck.
So that happened.
Are you a reader?
I used to be.
You used to be.
I used to read. I used to have bookshelves after bookshelves of books. I was fantasy though.
Okay.
I wasn't some stuff I read that were documentary style books.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Just curious what's inspiring you this year, because it's taken a lot of inspiration to get through this year.
I don't know. I feel like I just am weird that way, that I just freaking grind. It doesn't really take much to make me. Because if I'm not overwhelmingly busy, I don't know what to do with myself.
Oh, okay. I get that.
So I'm constantly like, okay, what am I doing next?
I think that's why I have 6 businesses, to be honest with you.
Oh, here he goes again, bragging about his businesses.
No, I'm just a total busy guy. No, I think that I do the same thing. I just find ways to do stuff, find opportunities. That's all I'm doing.
I can't not do something.
Bragging
That's
on
probably
business.
partly why I'm a team lead too, because I'm like, well, I mean, hey, I don't have that much to do this month, so take the team out, teach them how to freaking video a house and produce cool videos. And
You have a videographer?
No, me, no. You know, hello, that was a photographer.
Okay, so inspiration is not something you need.
Not really. I don't know
To be
why.
you.
No, I mean, I don't know why. What I need to be more inspired for is personal development. That is where I lack the most.
Yeah,
Like
I love that stuff.
I can kill it with like the work and the producing and the providing for the family, but when it comes to like my health, exercising like I used to, being fit and in shape, that's where I struggle the most.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
What?
You know a challenge is coming. What do you want to do?
Physically?
Yeah.
I want to lose 30 pounds and probably gain 15 pounds of muscle.
So you're a CrossFit person?
I used to be. I can't do it anymore.
Why?
I have old person knees.
Yo.
Pickleball totally screwed my knees up so bad.
Old people need to hear this.
Dude, I went to an orthopedic surgeon because I could barely walk on both my knees.
Oh my
gosh. It was so bad.
Because all the tennis effect?
Yes. Stopping and twisting and
Stealing the ball from your husband?
yes. Yeah. And I went to the orthopedic surgeon and they were like, you have severe arthritis in both your knees.
Oh my gosh.
And I always thought that was like bone growths and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's just a lack of cartilage.
Right.
So it's just bone on bone.
Mm-hmm.
It was just freaking painful. So at that point, like I couldn't really walk very well. So like stepping up steps was hard. Going into a home and walking up to the second floor, I had to hold on to the wall and to the thing and like pull myself up.
Wow.
It sucked. So that's partly part of the problem because now I just don't really know. I can't run. I cannot run because any forward weight shift on my knee is like a stab. It hurts really bad. But I have started playing pickleball again, and my knees are not bothering me. So I'm hopeful that I can start like gaining back some muscle mass.
That is wild. I didn't
So
know that.
that's what I would like to do.
Okay.
I used to be freaking fit. I feel like I was smoke and mirrors to my husband, like, because I was the most fit I've ever been in my whole life when I met him.
Yeah.
And then I started real estate, and it all went away.
That's what you meant.
It all went away.
What? Yeah, that's interesting. I think every couple has to go through that.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay, though. It's okay. You're an amazing person, and even more, I would imagine you're the best mom in the world. And
I try to be. My kids are pretty amazing.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
I've not met any of your children.
Well, they're all kind of grown now.
It's weird to see
know?
that you're my age with grown children.
Well, I started really young.
Yeah, you did.
Because I was Mormon. You know, I got married at 20.
I love that fill-in. I was Mormon.
I was.
I had to do it.
Had my first baby at 23, and I was done having babies by 30. So.
I had my first at 30.
See?
Yeah.
I was done.
Yeah.
So,
My soon-to-be 17-year-old is...
and that's my youngest kid's age. So your oldest kid's age is my youngest
youngest.
kid's. Yeah.
And my youngest is turning 9 next month.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
Well, I took a step back when I married Chad because he's got 2 younger kids.
And he makes you young.
Chad does?
No. Last time I saw him, he was laid out on the floor because his back was out.
Exactly. we both have pains. Like today, in the truck when he was driving me to pick up my car, he like turning his body like this because he's like, my freaking neck.
I'm so tense.
And he's younger than us. He's 42.
Yeah, he is
43.
He's a stud, though.
Yeah.
You guys ever do yoga?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
I want to start that back. I have.
My girlfriend. Oh my God.
I have a yoga pillow. I think it's over there by you. You see
Yes.
it?
Yeah. My girlfriend does yoga and she's amazing at it. She's in Utah though.
She's what?
In Utah.
Oh, in Utah.
Yeah. But she's completely changed her physical everything just with yoga. Like,
that's awesome.
She's always had health issues and pain and, all this stuff. And
That's
she's
what
like,
I'm talking about.
She's freaking amazing now. I can do yoga with my knee. I can.
Good.
Swimming, biking, yoga.
Let's go to Indigo. Be done with it. Actually, there's a yoga place here in Aledo. It's like $75 a session or something stupid.
Frick.
I'm like, no.
There's a girl that posted on Facebook. She's like, hey guys, I'm married but no kids and dogs are my life, and I own a yoga studio, and I'm just really want some friends. And I'm like, maybe I should go to. Like, I feel like if
Did
I
you reply?
paid for it, no, I actually tagged my client.
Oh.
Who moved here.
Hey,
and it's like
guinea
exactly the same. And it's funny because like I went to tag her, but I saw that she had seen the post and she had already commented and said, "Oh my God, we have so much in common."
Very
I was
cool.
like, Katie, I was going to tag you because
See, that's
you guys
you.
are exactly the
You're
same.
like thinking about somebody else in place of you. That's good.
Because she just moved here. She needs friends.
That's cool. Do you have friends?
It's
a really exposing question.
I would say I don't know. Like, what is a friend? Like, I have a million people I could call and bitch to.
This is why we're friends.
But it's like,
because that's how we answer these things.
Like, what is a friend? Like, I have very few that know every single thing about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, my husband is 100% my best friend.
Yeah.
And then my friend in Utah is probably my second best friend.
Very cool. And then there's acquaintances.
Yeah, but then there's like lifetime best friends.
Oh, you've got them broken
that
up.
like I've like that were in different parts of my life. So if I called them on the phone, it would be like nothing changed, but I don't talk as much to them anymore because they're in different parts of the country.
Yeah.
But
That's
then
true.
and then there's friends here that like frick yeah, I can call them and hang out. We can hang out. They're my friends.
Yeah.
But like, are they like your friend, like your ride or die friend? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I want more of those, but it's how when I just am like constantly, I don't even have time for my family. Like that's the problem.
That is a weird conundrum because I do that too. Is we gotta be very careful with how much time we spend because by default I love disappearing into the woods or.
You just went with your kids, didn't you, on a trip?
I do pretty often.
Yeah.
I mean, I have like Appalachian Trail is next. I'll do that in a couple of months.
Where's that?
Well, it depends on where
North
you're at.
Carolina?
It goes from Georgia to Maine.
Oh, nice.
And I'll do section hikes.
Mm.
The guy I went with a couple of years ago, he just got back. He flew his plane into Virginia and then hiked for a while, and then got a ride back to his plane and then flew home. It was like, oh, that's living, baby.
You know what I did last weekend that was an adventure and was really cool?
What?
I went to Heiko, which is about an hour and a half away,
Uh-huh.
and I did an 8-hour self-defense course with some really badass dudes that
awesome.
used to be, military.
Just you?
No, a girl on my team, it was actually her cousin that was doing the course. And she's like, hey, somebody dropped out. It's women only. You want to come? I'm like, fuck yeah.
So if you're a buyer and you start smack, beware. Heather's going to take you out.
Well, I now know 12 different places on the body that
Like
I
pressure
can
points?
No, that I would pull out. So he said,
Take my weapons.
he said the blade is the absolute best thing a woman could carry. So we did the first half of the day shooting, and then the second half of the day was defense with knives. But he said this knife is a broken knife
Why?
because you have to, in order to defend yourself,
You have to open
you have
it.
to get it out of your freaking pocket, flip it open.
You're not going to carry
make
a
sure,
fixed blade.
Dude, he showed some really cool ones. And then he showed how to stab
gonna show me.
people with it.
Oh, well.
Like, we were literally practicing stabbing. Like, he was like, okay, your first cut, you're holding it with the knife coming down, so the knife is not going up. And he's like, you jam it in here, and then you rip up the neck, and then you bring, and then he's like, then you bring the knife across here, and rip across the neck, and then jam
Heather.
it in here and up the neck. It was like, and that was just the first 3. And then he talked about ripping down here, so you cut all the tendons, so their arms are useless. Oh, and the blue noodles.
Blue noodle.
You stick it in here, twist it around, and rip across here so that their noodles come out. Like, it was so interesting. And then after that, he taught us how not to get shoved into a car to be taken away. Or if we're getting into the car, we're sitting in the car, and someone comes in to get you. He showed us how to get away from that by shoving their head up. And then at the very end of the day, they dressed up in, like, armor, and we were pretending to pump gas.
Okay.
And we had fake pepper spray.
Yeah.
Which he gave us like real pepper spray to everybody, but we had a fake one that was full of water. So the guy was coming towards us, and we were supposed to get like a bad feeling about this dude because, you know, you're supposed to trust your gut, like really.
Yeah.
And spray him with pepper spray. And then he gets really mad that you spray him with pepper spray and pulls out a knife. And then you had to pull out your gun and shoot him.
And how did that go? Did it go differently than you thought?
It did for me. So there were like 9 women there, and I went 6th. So I had seen all these women go.
Right.
And so this is the car. Here's the gas tank. The group of people are over here.
Sure.
And the guy was coming from here.
Okay.
So, you know, the girls are like, stop right there. And then they shoot him, and there's trees behind him.
They literally said, stop right there.
Like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, stop,
Yeah.
you know, because that's your first red flag.
Sure.
If you tell them stop because
And
you're
they
feeling
don't.
uncomfortable and they don't, you need to defend yourself.
Sure.
For me, he came from the group of people. So I'm holding this weapon that has rubber bullets in it, and I had to decide if I'm going to shoot this guy that's about as far away, like further than you.
No way.
Shoot him with all the women standing around him, knowing that if I freaking screw up, I'm going to shoot someone else who doesn't have...
They literally are projectiles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were rubber bullets. They were in armor to be hit with these bullets.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I was like, first I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you coming? And then he's like, I'm like, I can't, there's women. And he just started coming at me with a knife. And so I just had to pull out the gun and go bam, 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 and shot him just right center mass. Didn't
That's
miss.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's wild. Have you had training in that before?
No.
Wow.
No. In fact, because I was shot when I was a kid, I've always been scared of knives. Oh, did you not know that?
Let's wait till the end of the podcast to pull that one out.
Okay.
Goodness gracious.
So I've always been scared of guns.
How were you shot?
I was 7.
Can I ask this? I'm so sorry.
Oh, I don't care. I brought it up.
You brought it up. Yeah. What am I doing?
I was 7. My brother was 11. It's kind of like maybe 15 feet away from each other.
Okay.
He was very impulsive and hyper. And my parents went into town. We lived out in the country in Idaho, like out in the country. And we lived in a place where it's like if someone said, what's your address? We would be like, Route 4, box number D.
Yep.
Like there's no street name.
Right.
I don't even know if we knew.
Was it paved?
What the street? No. No. Fish, gravel. Like it's not gravel here. It's like gravel where there's like really thick gravel in the middle and on the sides. So if you had to get over, you might fishtail and go into the ditch.
Oh, gosh.
Like it's totally different up in Idaho.
Right.
Anyway, Mom was in town. Dad was out of state for an insurance thing. And my mom's like, don't get out the gun, whatever you do. My brother's like, maybe we should
Thanks
try
for
that.
reminding me. Yeah.
Maybe we should try that. So he gets it out, shoots outside, comes in, doesn't realize that there's one bullet left. Not chambered because it's a revolver.
Oh, it's gone through. Oh.
So he just saw that there was none and didn't even think whatever. And anyways, that's kind of how I remember it.
How
what I mean?
lethal was this shot?
I mean, it was a 38 special in a 357. So it hit me.
Oh, God. No. No.
7-year-old. So like just smaller than your daughter. So it hit me here. It went in here, out here, back in right here, and then out right here. So
you are so fortunate. Like an inch in.
Just a centimeter. A centimeter higher would have hit jugular and carotid.
Heather, oh my God.
Isn't that crazy? How are your cameras still on? Why did mine turn off in 20 minutes?
Because yours.
Are they because they're older?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah, that's.
Get new cameras.
So when we did your podcast, I took note of a couple of things, and I noticed you said that. So when I went home and did the research, because you obviously see the similar stuff over here, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want one that shuts off.
Yeah, no kidding.
If I have to buy a video camera.
But my Sony shuts off in 30 minutes. That's a Sony.
They don't do that anymore.
What the frick? Now I need to go get new cameras.
So it's a faster processing speed with lower heat. And it's the heat that's the problem. So, and it shuts it down to protect it.
I gotcha.
These don't overheat. I can do 24-hour shots on these. In fact, that one right there, I do all of my camera shots on the back of my computer for all of my coach calls. So it's my webcam. And it's the best, clearest camera on the planet for that.
Yeah, Sony makes a nice mirrorless camera. They're
it's
good.
really good.
Yeah.
So I was pleasantly surprised. A lot of my other friends use Canons and Nikons and all, but none of them shut down anymore.
Frick, man.
You got to go spend thousands of dollars.
It's worth it, though. To not have to stop the conversation every freaking 20 minutes and remember where you are.
All I have to do is buy a big enough card.
So annoying.
Yeah,
and that's easy.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
$50 for a few terabytes now.
I was going to say,
Jeez.
it's actually probably less than that. Okay, so what's next for you? What's something that you haven't told anybody that's legal?
Told anybody?
Other than being shot?
That's legal?
All of my stuff is illegal. I can't tell you.
Why?
No, like what's the next step for you in the next year? Have you painted that picture of what your goals want to be?
Well, I want Cameron to be successful. Like my son who's joining. He has a very clear goals. Like he wants to go into multifamily, and I want to help him get there because I think that's awesome.
In Texas, that's going to be a challenge, but you can do it.
I'm about to list it. That's where I'm going after this is list a duplex.
Wait a second. You were going to Benbrook to clean.
Well,
you're going to do a lot today.
I don't want to go home to the country.
See?
If I had to go to freaking
This is why
Fort
you
Worth.
do well. You have everything going for you.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just don't stop. It's boring to sit around. So what do I want to do?
Yeah. Like, do you have aspirations for how big you want your team? How much do you want to make? Don't say that, but just things that, there are things.
Oh, I'll say that. I'll tell you what. If you're a realtor,
Here we go. You ready? Strap in because she's going all in.
If you net, and I'm talking net, not gross. If you net over $400K, your taxes change dramatically. It's a terrible thing. And I don't want to complain about being successful, but I'm just saying that you have to plan and prepare.
I want that problem all day long.
That if you net over 400K, it's a terrible tax situation. So
it is, but I also prepare for that.
One of my goals, though, is to set up a trust because our broker has been going to these wealth management things.
Yep.
So he actually stopped being our broker. His wife is our broker now. He's still involved.
Yeah.
But he's focusing now mostly on wealth management and setting up these really elaborate trusts to where the trust owns everything, including all the money we make.
Protects everything.
And then there's no taxes.
Yeah.
You have to pay taxes on what you pay yourself.
Right.
Because the trust
on
can't.
An S corp.
Can't pay for food, fashion, and fun, but the trust can pay for everything else: cars, house, rental houses, all of your income, the shop.
It's on separate electricity. It's a completely different thing.
Yeah, but the trust should own every single thing that you own, so that the trust is paying your mortgage, and the trust is paying for your car payment because the trust owns it. You know what I mean? So that would be my goal for this year, is to get the trust set up, but it's expensive. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's cheaper than paying the government.
Ours was like $3,000.
This one is a little bit more involved.
Good.
It's like 20, I think.
Oh.
Because it's not just like a trust, like a revocable trust. It's like more of a spendthrift trust because it has different attributes than just like a revocable trust.
You're Teflon.
It's interesting. I mean, I'm lucky that I learned it through them. You know what I mean? It's not like
$20,000.
I think so. That's what I heard. It's a lot, but still, it's worth it if it has the attributes that they say, because it's also kind of a way to fund, like, be your own bank as well, because you can borrow against your trust with simple interest, so that you're not having to go to the lender or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then there's also life insurance policies involved that build up.
See, we have
and IRAs, like.
You have to be careful, but a lot of people have these things already, right? Mm-hmm. Now, just setting it up to where it organizes to where one's not exposed.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really know. I mean, like,
I don't either.
I'll let him be the expertise on that, and he set it up for his family. But it does make me very nervous because, like,
it would
makes me real nervous.
So I'm seeing this.
You never know.
I'm seeing this business model pop up more and more often right now. Is that financial planners or advisors or whatever they're called, not in the traditional sense you're going to go buy in a Roth IRA. By the way, that's dead. Most of the people that I see doing this are, you know what? I've seen so many people get screwed. I'm going to help people.
Yeah, yeah.
And they create these businesses like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I want to run a business that runs game against, like back in the day, people ran a code and then tried to find all the loopholes and back doors on all these code. Mm-hmm. I want to do the same thing for that. Like, what's the worst case scenario for this?
So do you know who Andrew Cordell is?
No.
He has a podcast called Money Is.
I've seen it.
He's very wealthy. and he does mastermind events,
Uh-huh.
and he teaches you how to do things. But this is his whole shtick, is to show you how the wealthy
Exposure.
make money, protect their money, and keep their money. Like, that's his whole thing. And so that's kind of what the brokers started going to, was those. But like these people are like, all their stuff is in a trust, but they have these specific types of IRAs, a gold IRA. I have it written down. There's like these different types of IRAs, and they don't invest their IRAs in the market.
No, that's what, when I said Roth earlier, that's what I was talking about, is a market-based
Yes,
investment.
traditional. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't do that.
because they have these IRAs. Okay, so they have a solo Roth, an HSA Roth, a Coverdell, and a Golden Roth.
Coverdell, no.
And then they take the money from this, and then they invest it in this business venture, and it's going to have a maturity date of this, and here's our expected return. And these people, so like Mitt Romney, for instance, he has he made $180 million in his Roth IRA with like 4 trades with his, circle of people. And so that's kind of his point, is he's just like, dude, it shouldn't be limited to the wealthiest of the wealthy. Like, even if you're starting small, you know what I mean, with 20K, like, you got to start somewhere, but there's a better way than the freaking NASDAQ. And it's so interesting.
I did a post a while back, and one of my past clients, the post was traditional means of investing is dead. If you have a Roth IRA, you should definitely consider other means, because this is a detriment to most of the people that think that waking up, working hard, and being dedicated to something is going to get you somewhere. All of that is dead now.
Yeah, that was his whole point of the whole mastermind. And Cameron went with me to them. My son did.
I love that
It was
so
really
much.
cool.
So, dude, he's gonna be badass, just like his mom.
And we went to a tax lien seminar. That was one of the things that kind of hooked us into this thing, was figuring out how you can go to the sheriff's sale at the first Tuesday of the month and buy land for the cost of back taxes. Did you know you could do that?
They just want to break even. They want net zero.
Right, tax office, yeah. But we can buy those tax liens,
right?
Meaning pay them off,
right?
And then the people who are behind on their taxes, they have a year to pay us back at 18%, and then by the end of the year, 36%. So here again is another way to invest money by buying tax liens, and then you're automatically paid back these huge interest rates. And then if they take a year and a day, you can either start the foreclosure process, or if they pay you back after a year and a day, it's 55%.
They're indebted you for keeping it going.
They're required by law to pay you back with interest. So it's interesting because there's different options. And you can actually buy minerals, because minerals are taxed.
Yeah.
Property taxes too. And half of the stuff in Parker County that comes up on that sale are mineral rights. So it's like $60 here, $100 there. You can just
What are you buying?
the mineral rights.
Yeah, but those are like 3,000 an acre sometimes.
I'm just saying, it's like they obviously have like an actual, income producing mineral right, and they're not paying their taxes on it.
Why wouldn't all the oil companies go and jump on that?
I don't know. Because you have to show up at the courthouse on the second Tuesday of the month.
Do you know how many
with
roughnecks
money in your pocket? No, people don't know about it. Did you know about it?
No, didn't know about
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
But their attorney's better.
That was interesting.
You're just a wealth of crazy knowledge.
It's pretty cool.
Opportunities, we like to call that.
Yeah. So if I had paid $15,000 more, I could have gone to the Florida mastermind and been in the room with a bunch of billionaires talking about this stuff. And I was like, do I really want to do that?
Am I really going to spend that? No.
It's $15,000. And then I'm like, these people are going to be like, yeah, I have this. So for instance, one of the things that this Andrew Cordo guy thought of doing was having, you know how you can like have kiosks to check stuff out, like those bikes in Austin or whatever the frick? Well, he figured out how to make kiosks on the beach to rent surfboards. And it was a massive return in a really short amount of time. And so he reaches out like, hey, I got this. I'll take 10 people. Here's the cost per share. We're going to have, return on this. Like, someone reached out to me last week and said, do you have a spare 100K? Because it's like pretty much a guaranteed 50% return. I'm like, not this year.
Yeah, not this year.
Not this year.
Interesting. So, I had no idea. No idea.
There's some cool stuff out there.
I love it. You are, wow. I want to go down so many rabbit holes right now, and I'm all seized up, but I think we've been on for a while. I want to respect your time in that. But who's, really quick, who is somebody you really admire right now inside of our business?
Inside of our business?
So all your real estate friends are going to be like, me.
I don't know. I mean, Puma will always be one of the top people because he helped me go from single agent to this is how you have a transaction coordinator. This is what her responsibilities are. I didn't have to lose any productivity to train her because his team trained her.
Why did he train you out of his job?
I don't know. Okay, so partly I think it's that I was a massive producer and it helps his numbers. And he really likes winning those awards at KW Southlake. Because they have massive awards shows.
I was a part of that.
Massive awards shows.
I was at KW Southlake.
Were you?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So he really likes being the top small team because there's like big teams and small teams. And
hiring team and all that.
We were always we were always like one of the top producing small team. Maybe under Charlie Brown, but I don't know. Charlie Brown too. Yeah. But I think he might have a bigger team.
Well, I appreciate you coming out. I think that this is one of those times where I go, I could talk to you forever, but really, what do we get out of today? We understand that it's okay to be you.
You have to be you. I don't think putting on airs of fancy clothes and fancy cars and all of that stuff, I don't think that speaks to people.
But no, I appreciate you because you are authentic. There's an amazing amount of knowledge inside of a short period of time.
Yeah.
But it seems like forever. 6 years, it seems like an eternity sometimes.
When you do a lot of transactions, with that comes a lot of experience.
That right there. That's what I'm talking about. Is
the two deals a year is unsustainable and a liability.
Is that a business?
No.
It is not. So if you want to know how to run a business inside of real estate, Heather is the person to talk to. Is there anything that you want to promote? Is there any hashtag @ thing that you want to say for people to follow, to watch your story unfold inside of Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram or Facebook? I wasn't going to say either of those.
Apparently, I'm a boomer now. Great.
So on YouTube.
Oh, you're doing YouTube?
Yeah.
That's where you do most of your stuff.
No. That's where Shad does. Well, that's where our podcast is. But you could also watch it on Spotify, just Pair of Spades podcast. TikTok on Pair of Spades. But my husband is the Pair of Spades, so don't get it confused. I appear on his videos too.
That's right.
Oh, dude, one time we had this video that was super viral. Like it's got like 10 million views or something.
Whoa.
And it was my idea, so I'm proud of it. But anyway, I grew up in northern Idaho.
Yeah.
So a girl that I rode on the bus with in elementary school messaged me on Facebook and said, "Oh my God, I have to tell you this. My boyfriend sent me this TikTok the other day. And it was you. It was me. And she called her boyfriend. Was like, "Oh my God, how do you know Heather?" And he was like, "Who the frick is Heather?" And she goes, "Heather was that video. That woman in the video was Heather. I used to ride the bus with her in second grade."
Your media
Idaho.
company is working.
Isn't that funny?
Dude, that is crazy.
It's so crazy.
It's funny. I don't have quite 10 million on one of mine, but I've seen little weird things where somebody goes, "Oh, I know that guy," and it was like, "What?" That guy was somebody I knew from 18 years old.
I saw a video yesterday of a kid who bought a truck, and he made a TikTok about it, and somehow the guy that owned the truck 2 owners ago said, "Oh my God, that's my truck. I have the key fob. Let me send it to you." Oh. And he sent him the key fob, and on the piece of paper said, "If you ever want to sell the truck, I get first dibs. Here's my name and phone number." And sure as shit, the key fob worked. And the kid was like, "That's so crazy."
That is weird.
How the algorithm could somehow get his truck video to some dude across the country.
And it'd be his truck.
And it was his truck.
The world just went.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
It's so weird. I look forward to seeing whatever it is that you're going to do over the next year.
Just more of this.
Just more of that. But it sounds like you're so well. It's like an oiled machine to get deals done. And I would say there might be some of dad influence in that. There might be some outside influence like Angelo and whatever. But whatever that is, the equation's amazing. And whatever clients come to your way, they're so blessed.
Well, thank you.
Such a big deal. All right. Well, we are taking out of here. What do? You want to do applause? You want to do crickets?
The magic wand.
The magic wand is what we got. I'm not happy with that.
You're so lame.
Yeah. Take care. Thanks.
Thanks, Eric.